Hey guys, Mark Holmes here. As always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and you can see I got food on my shirt here in the kitchen cooking. It's actually about an hour and a half before game time, and I'm actually working on some shrimp and grits. And this is going to be kind of a quick one here, but let me at least tell you what I'm doing. I'm actually taking some bacon, and I'm going to brown that, and I'm going to get some of that wonderful flavor. I'm going to add that over in here. I got some onions, some red pepper, celery, and jalapeno peppers in here together. That we're going to go ahead and get that sweating so it gets good and wet. Then we got some southern sausage. I've got mild and I've got hot in there. And I'm going to tell you, you put this in anything. I don't care what you put this on. This stuff is the bomb. You go ahead and put it in. I put it, of course, in my sausage and my gumbo. You can just put it on the grill. It's great. Add a wonderful spicy kick to it. Yesterday, when I peeled all the shrimp, and we got about 2 pounds of shrimp right here. When I peeled all the shrimp, I took the shrimp shells and I ended up putting a stick of butter in there. I ended up browning the shells in there till they got red. I ended up adding some chicken broth to it. I added some fresh rosemary, some thyme, and stuff, and I let it cook down, and I've got this fantastic shrimp broth that we're going to use in here as well. And that's the basic ingredient to get started with. Now, fresh rosemary, thyme, of course, Cajun seasoning, all of these things are what you want to use in there, and I'll show you as I go through. Like I said, I'm kind of in a hurry here, so I'm doing this on the fly. Get yourself a big old thing of Creole seasoning. This stuff is the best. And of course, they have different variants of it. The bold, it's got extra kick to it. So make sure you guys have that stuff in there. And of course, fresh pepper. You gotta have fresh pepper. Now the bacon, I just want to get it soft, and I'm going to add it to this stuff. Turn that up a little bit more. I hope our Cowboys get the win. We need that win bad today. Oh, almost forgot. Gotta get a jar of my mama's tomatoes and some Rotel. That'll help give it extra moisture, because what you want to have with shrimp and grits, we're going to do the grits with little hot sauce, Worcestershire sauce, heavy cream, and cheese in there. You want there to be plenty of juice to go on top of it, so that way you get that flavor. Oh boy. All right, that's getting wet. Good. Hey, Simba. If you guys have been following me for any length of time, you'll remember about 2 years ago, Simba had some issues with his back. And unfortunately, it is a ruptured disc, and it looks like he's got that problem again, and probably going to have surgery again. So, like a trooper though, Simba wants to be here in case I drop any food. All right, so I got my bacon, just not crispy, still nice and soft, but add that and let that cook in there, so it'll get some of that flavor. And then sausages. sausage going. All right, and then what we're going to do too, we got to get our grits going. Now grits, here we go, our grits. 4 to 1. 1 cup of grits to 4 cups of water. We're going to let that boil and then turn it down, and then it just basically simmers for a few minutes until it's nice and soft. Then we're going to add butter to it, hot sauce, Worcestershire sauce, heavy cream, butter, and cheese. And then that's going to go in the rice cooker so it'll stay nice and warm. Here, let me show you what we got going here. Come here. You see that? This is a big pot. And look at that sausage. That's the hot, that's the mild. Hot, mild, hot, mild. This is going to be good. All right, so fresh is always better. Look at this. Nice garlic here. We're going to chop up some garlic. And in my garden, I still have, and I even have in the window here, fresh rosemary. Look at that. Fresh thyme and fresh basil. When you can put in fresh herbs and spices, it will give it such a nice, fresh taste to it that will be so much better than what you're going to get using canned. Now, that's not to say that using, store-bought herbs from the store is bad. It's just not the same as when you can actually use fresh stuff that you actually grow. And the great thing is you can actually grow it right here in your house. And see, I've got rosemary, basil, and thyme all year round right here in the window that I can just pick some and keep on going. And what you do is in the beginning of the growing season is go to your home center and just grab a few plants. And if you have a balcony, if you have a window, heck, you can even now get grow lights that are that you can put in your house and don't even have to have a window to be able to grow stuff. So there's no reason not to be able to have fresh stuff when you're cooking. And my sausage is cooking real well over there. Now, some people will take the garlic, and what they'll do is, you can do this. Now, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. I just don't like to do it because you go like that, and the skin comes right off. But if you look, you see right there? That's some of the oil that's been shot out of the garlic, and that's a lot of the flavor. So I'd rather take my time, peel this, and keep that garlic oil in there. Stir. Oh yeah. You can see now. See how that's gotten nice and soft in there? This is good. The sausage is almost ready. And we'll add that into it. And we can go ahead and open up my mother's tomatoes. Now, she ends up doing these herself. She cans them, grows them, cans them, and everything else. And the tomatoes are a lot softer. Only thing she puts into it is just a pinch of salt for a preservative. So I'm going to add that in there. Boom. We got that. Our shrimp broth. And we're going to put our jar of rotel in there. Now, shrimp. You don't want to put the shrimp in until the last minute because it'll only take about 5 minutes for the shrimp to get cooked. And if you just leave them in there boiling all day, they'll end up tasting like they've been in there boiling all day. Now, let's see if we can show you what we have in here now. All right, so we've got our tomatoes in there. We've got our bacon. We've got our vegetables, and now we're going to start adding the sausage in here, and we're just going to let this cook. We're going to chop up all of our fresh herbs and add that as well as our pepper and our Cajun seasoning to taste, along with our garlic. I better get chopping. I'm behind here. And then I got to go out here and get the deep fryer going so I can get these chicken wings. And then we're going to let this simmer. Sausage. I should save some of this, put it on a piece of bread. Speaking of bread, what we actually are serving with this is a baguette, because it's nice and hard, and it'll hold up good with all of that moisture that's going to be in there. So let's take another peek. Oh, I got to add my garlic too. Look at that. Now, the only thing that's missing color-wise now is when we put our rosemary and our thyme and our green stuff in there, that's going to give it just a beautiful look as you see those fresh herbs and stuff. And what we're going to do is we're going to let this simmer for about 30 minutes. And what I'm going to do in the meantime is I'm going to go get my deep fryer going, and I'm going to get these herbs up in here. So look, check it out. Watch this. I love this. Boom. Just pull all that off of there. Boom. Fresh, fresh, fresh. A little Thai basil in there as well. Can't go wrong. It's all good stuff. If you guys could smell this stuff, oh, this smells so good. Gets to be monotonous with the time. It's kind of like, it's a lot of work, but it's worth it for the flavor. Okay, all right, we're just gonna chop this stuff up. We're gonna add it to it. Look at the beautiful colors of it. Oh my goodness. One more quick peek. Look at this. Ooh. Hammer down. Look at those herbs and spices. Oh my. All right, start adding it in. All right, so I'm gonna go get my deep fryer going. Now, here's what we do for our sauce. Now, it's really actually pretty simple. We take a stick of butter, okay? Stick of butter, and but don't do like I did. I had Richard over, and I thought I had it on warm, and I put it on high, and was outside for about 15 minutes. That's why we have a new microwave. But you take a stick of butter, you melt it without burning it, and then I just use Frank's hot sauce original. And you put basically about the same amount of hot sauce in there. Now, if you want to make some killer wings, here's what you do. Get yourself some jalapeno peppers, chop them up, okay, put them in there. If that's not hot enough, get yourself some Thai chili peppers, chop them up, put it in there with the butter, let it saute. If it's still not hot enough, get yourself some habanero peppers, wear some gloves, chop it up, put it into it, and let it simmer. If it's still, you're trying to kill somebody, get yourself some ghost peppers, wear a face mask, wear goggles, put on some rubber gloves, chop it up with all the other ones in there, and let it saute real careful. But make sure, I'm telling you, don't breathe it in because those fumes will knock you out. So we're going to put the butter on warm, let it melt. Then we're going to add the hot sauce to that, and we're going to get a big bowl to shake these things up in. Let me get the fire going. Fire! I got my deep fryer going out there, so once it gets to 350, we're going to be cooking some chicken wings. But I just want to show you where we are with the shrimp and grits. Right now, look at that. That is, or can you see? Oh, let me bring you a little closer. Look at this. This is basically, it's kind of like, you could say almost like a chili or a stew. It's just from different regions. You can see the sausage kind of stuck on there. But you see that soupiness in there. You see the bacon. You see the fresh herbs and stuff in there. And then we're going to add the shrimp, which is going to fill that in some more. And what we're also going to do is, I've got 8 cups of water in here that I got to get to a rolling boil, and then add 2 cups of grits and turn it down. And then we're going to put a top on it, and we're going to let it cool down. And then we're going to add cheese to that, the Worcestershire sauce, the hot sauce, and all that stuff to get some goodness. And I'm going to go ahead and melt my butter while I'm in here waiting for the grease. I'm going to go ahead and get that done so I can turn that sucker off, because I don't want to burn down. I don't want to burn down the house. Not a good thing. All right, so we're coming down the home stretch on the shrimp and grits. That's already simmered down. I'm going to take my 2 pounds of shrimp, and I am going to turn that back up to medium. And I'm going to add my shrimp in here because they're cold. Come here, take a look at this. Ooh, we're just going to let them sauce right up in there. Look at this. They're going to turn pink, and then this is done. So you talk about that juice, that sauce, the shrimp, the rosemary, the thyme, and we've got to go ahead and get our grits together. Now our grits, they're over here. You can see they doing what grits do. They just look kind of plain. I'm going to put a half a stick of butter in there. Let that sucker melt with it, because you want creamy grits. All right, so we got a half a stick of butter. We got Parmesan cheese, if I can get it open. Stir them shrimp, stir the shrimp, stir the shrimp. I'm gonna put about a half a cup of Parmesan cheese in there, and let that melt with the butter. You know, I love my Worcestershire sauce, so we're going to put some Worcestershire in there. We're going to put a little bit of hot sauce, just a little bit, because I like everything hot. And once the butter melts, we're going to add a little bit of cream and a little bit of salt. What'll happen is, because this will be in for a while before people eat it, is it'll get dry. So you add the extra cream into it. That'll keep it moist for a good length of time. And of course, you got to have your Dallas Cowboys crock pot to put this stuff in. Look at that. Ooh, it's almost there. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is going to be good. All right, all we got left now is the taste test. So what we're going to do, we're going to take some of the grits. Got to put some of those grits on the bottom. Look at that. Ooh, see the creamy grits? And then you're going to take a scoop of that shrimp and that broth. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Ooh-wee. Oh, I got to grab the bread. Hang on, I got to grab the bread. You got to have your fresh baguette because that makes it pretty. Look at that. That's what we got. Game Day Eats, shrimp and grits. So you got an early game, this can be like brunch. Man, let me taste it up here. It's hot. You see that sausage? Look at that sausage. Oh, look at that shrimp. Hot, but good. I'm Mark Holmes, and we're 20 minutes from kickoff. I'll see you there.